When Rudy Gobert defends like he did last night against the Los Angeles Clippers, and really the way he has done in recent games, it's easy to remember why this guy has 4 Defensive Player of the Year trophies to his name. Now, the Clippers had the excuse of being on a back-to-back and missing some key players, but the main reason Minnesota demolished them was because Gobert smashed their pick-and-roll offense to smithereens all night long. Ivica Zubac and James Harden have been one of the best pick-and-roll duos in the entire league this season, and you could see from the opening possession how intent Gobert was on shutting off that partnership. So he's not even allowing the big man to come up and set that screen here, and even when Harden does come off it and eventually gets around the ball screen, he's so good at sitting between the ball and the roll man, and then when he sees McDaniels catching up and Conley moving across, he stays in the passing lane and forces Harden to take a tough shot instead of making that late pass that he's so good at. It was huge for Minnesota's win that he was able to negate Zubac even setting those screens. See how he's not only holding off the huge man here, he's telling Naz Reid to shuffle across in case they try to lob it over the top. That forces the Clippers away from the screen and away from their most effective offense, and then he's rotating across to help shore up a drive, and LA never touched the paint before hoisting up a deep brick at the end of the shot clock. And that was the type of nous and the type of intensity that he was at all throughout this beatdown. He was able to bait Harden into bad decisions and constantly changed up his tactics to do so. Here again, he's in that area where he can play both of them. You see him throw a handout here to force Harden's decision, then he commits, forces the late pass, and then shuffles back to join a veering Jaden McDaniels and force the ball out of play. I think when Gobert's at his best defensively, it's because he's timing up when to bait and when to commit perfectly. You see how he takes one step towards Zubac here? That forces Jones Jr. to make a decision to drive, and then he's over and making that a tough shot at the rim. And all night those defensive stops that he made turned into runouts, turned into transition opportunities, and then turned into easy points going the other way. And the kicker on this performance was that he was mixing up his coverages and still dominating every defensive action. Here he's moving up higher in coverage to prevent a pull-up 3. He waits for Minot to catch up to the ball, and when they try and hit Zubac at the front of the rim, he snatches it, goes the length of the floor, and creates more points at the line for his team. And I think when Gobert is committed to dominating the pick and roll like this, he pulls his teammates along with him. This time he's all the way up on the trap, and Anthony Edwards provides him with the cushion to do so by rotating over and picking off that interior pass. It's another possession wrecked by Gobert, it's another run out for the Wolves, and it's more easy points, and we know that this team doesn't get enough of them. This time we get a little bit of everything from Gobert. He comes up at the ball on the first ball screen, then when Zubac re-screens Alexander Walker, he drops underneath that screen, and when Noor gets hung up on the screen, Gobert switches out, eats up that space, and forces the ball away from him and away from that island that he's on, and then the Clippers end up jacking up another late clock triple. It's hard to understate how important it is to team defense when one player can handle the pick and roll so smoothly on nearly every possession. Again, he goes into drop here, recognizes that his man is screened off and then jumps up to switch. Now he's trapping Harden in the slot and forcing the ball out of his hands and into a much less dangerous avenue for scoring, and Minnesota once again profit by capitalizing on that stop in transition. He was just able to dictate LA's offense all night. Here he saddles Harden all the way under the rim off the pick, forcing another bad pass instead of a layup, and then he's able to switch into rotation defense wrecker mode when he steps up to shut off this driving lane, forcing another kick out away from the paint, and then rotating down again and ensuring that the Clippers get the worst shot possible with a Chris Dunn 3. And when he wasn't blowing up pick and roll possessions, he was terrorizing Zubats and the rest of this Clippers squad with his ability to jump passing lanes and completely shut off their handoff game with Zubats as the hub, or the ability to just throw it down into the post to try and get some easy buckets. Because the Clippers were tired and injured, this won't be a long-remembered game in the pantheon of great Rudy Gobert defensive performances, but in terms of one player utterly dominating an entire offense, this is as good as you will see. Thanks again for watching Howls and Growls. Please subscribe for more.